Well, hello, free people of the Rocky Mountain region. This is Brandon from Free State, Colorado, and I hope you're doing well. A major issue that needs to be discussed and contended with is the fact that there are far left radicals, these extremists, who are part of the Colorado Democrat community. We have legislators, we have so called reporters, we have people out there who are willing to celebrate violence and use violence to achieve their political goals. Now, you may remember hearing about Antifa back probably the first time I heard about them in 2020. 2021 when these horrible riots were ravaging the country, and unfortunately, Denver was not immune. So I got some clips here, some social media posts from back in 2020, just to remind you of how crazy it was, how violent these people were, how destructive these people were. And some of them were these Antifa militant types who would dress up all in black, smash windows, start fires, and cause some serious issues. So that's from August 23rd, 2020. You can see where people are using the whole riots and parades and protests as excuses to commit acts of violence, and it's horrible stuff. But we can't forget this. We really have to remember this and understand what some of these people are really after. We have Antifa riots, according to Andy here on social media. They're smashing in Quiznos here in downtown Denver, attacked a police headquarters, the courthouse, of course, some serious stuff. They lit this fire at the courthouse back in August of 2020. Not good, folks. Bad stuff. And I remember it was some scary times out there for sure. I mean, when you combine what was happening with COVID, with you combine these riots and the shutdowns and all these problems, here's fireworks at the police station, Denver PD going off in August of 2020, people going crazy down there. And then here we go in 2021, January 20th, 2021, where they actually had this, unfortunately, very large American flag set on fire. And you can see kind of some of their logos there, some of these communist hammer and sickle stuff, people who are intent on destruction. And ultimately, this is a lot of the Antifa crowd. Now, sure, there's other people out there, there's other people causing these issues, but ultimately, some of these people who would consider themselves Antifa are involved in these types of things. So it can't be ignored, it can't be forgotten. That's the reality of it. And unfortunately, if these people decide to do this stuff again, it's not going to be good. It's not good stuff. We don't want to see this happen here in Colorado in our communities at all. Here's outside of the Western Conservative Summit. Remember that when the Antifa protesters really shut down Western Conservative Summit, really got them out of the Denver Convention Center and really went after these people, silencing the speech of people they didn't like, calling them quote unquote Nazis, of course. Horrible, horrible stuff. Blocking traffic outside of the convention center there, altercations erupting, a lot of problems. These people think they're so entitled and so capable of really trying to control what other people do. It's horrible, horrible stuff. Setting down the roads, protesting, spraying things on cars. Uh, the tweet here says they photograph the faces of drivers and their license plates to dox them later. Not good stuff, folks. Unfortunately, that's some of the reality we've seen over the past several years. Thankfully, it's kind of died down about a bunch. But I do have to bring up another organization here that has some ties to Antifa. And that's the Colorado Times Recorder. I mean, if you guys have seen this, it's almost laughable that they pretend to be a legitimate news organization. In my opinion, they are so far left. It is crazy. You can check them out if you're looking for a good laugh. But these people specialize in hit pieces. Anybody who's going to challenge the Democrat majority, of course, they go after. We've seen them run hit pieces on people like Rich Guggenheim, a Gays Against Groomers guy who was running for Congress, and they ran this massive hit piece against him, really trying to tear him apart, tear him down. And we have Jason Salzman, the editor over at Colorado Times Recorder, saying there's still no evidence that gangs took over Aurora apartment complexes. So, saying this as late as September 2024, when some of the worst stuff was happening. And of course, they're all about their political talking points. They don't care about the real lived experience of people who actually live in those apartments and what they went through. So, I just want to give you an idea of who these people at the Colorado Times Recorder are and their connections to Antifa here. Of course, here's September 17th, 2025. Upcoming political protests and events. So it's no surprise that they're getting people out there to upcoming political protests. The first thing they list is the candlelight vigil for Charlie Kirk. Of course, I feel like they have to add events in there to kind of cover themselves, but the first thing they're telling you is political protests. Oh, Charlie Kirk. Oh, protest Gabe Evans. Oh, here's this, and they keep going there. Rough stuff, folks. These are the people that are kind of behind some of the bad stuff, in my opinion, at the very least. They have one of their reporters here, somebody who's Heidi Beadle. Now, you may have heard of this person before, seen them on social media. But of course, they're one of the people who write hit pieces, such as the about Colorado Springs School District, going after people who are gun enthusiasts. Oh my gosh, how crazy is that? But one of the biggest things is that Heidi Beadle is currently a writer, a reporter over here at Colorado Times Recorder. Recent article from September 24th, 2025, so not that long ago, and it was exposed a while back. Now, Heidi Beadle was connected to the Colorado Springs Antifa group, anti-fascist group there. 11,800 followers as of recent, and they got shut down at one point. Apparently, they're back now. They got us suspended because these people are often involved in terms of trying to dox people, and by that put out their private information, their addresses, where they live and then threaten them. Why has anybody smashed this person's camera yet? You know, Here's their website, their email address. Oh, their business is registered to their home address. And wink, wink. Of course, trying to encourage violence, trying to encourage people to go after these people. Bad stuff, folks. Bad stuff. This is 2022. This is that journalist there, that Heidi Beadle, formerly known as Sean Beadle. But you can read that there and read what Heidi has said. Um, I did start the Colorado Springs Antifa account and the blog. I did my part to stem the rising tide of fascism, but I've been retired for a while now. So this is somebody who's attached to all of this Antifa part, who's actually a writer that is referenced by Colorado Democrats, Colorado Democratic legislators. Others will post articles from Colorado Times Recorder, and it's not good, folks. And we have some of those legislators I want to talk about next, like Representative Javier Mabrey, who came out here on September 22nd, 2025, trying to celebrate Antifa here, saying Antifa means anti-fascist. People who get so angry when that term is used, or when someone calls themselves Antifa, need to ask themselves if it's because they are pro-fascist. I mean, come on, buddy. You've seen what's been happening in our country, the political violence, and we have representatives like Javier Marbury, who's, in my opinion, one of the most far left people we have, somebody who does not want the free market to provide housing or other goods and services to the people, but wants state control over the system. And that's my perspective, at least, of what he's looking for. But, saying that, oh, if you're against Antifa, smashing up all these windows, burning flags, and going so crazy, then you must be pro-fascist. It's like, come on, buddy. You know better than that. Here's Lorena Garcia, of course, on September 19th, 2025, over at Blue Sky, saying, I am Antifa. Of course, this is a response to the president saying that Antifa is a terrorist organization because they've been involved in so many of these violent attacks and going after people. But Lorena Garcia, is expressing solidarity with her comrades, these far left people. These are state legislators. These are people in our state government, folks. It's absolutely insane. And of course, she was appointed in 2023, and she's been down there ever since. Definitely one of the worst legislators, in my opinion, that we have. And then you have Lorena Garcia here. This was posted on September 25th. The families of these detainees were already torn apart by Trump's anti-immigrant campaign. And now one of these families permanently lost a loved one. All of this, again, due to gun violence. I mean, how crazy is this person to blame it on guns? No one deserves to have their life stolen by cowards with guns or masks. And of course, she means the cowards with masks. She's talking about ICE. Lorena Garcia posted this, all my homies hate ICE, totally against the idea of immigration enforcement whatsoever, and also wants to ban all of our guns. So, I mean, it's insanity, folks. This is the reality of who we have in our state government, who we have at these Democrat news organizations, quote unquote, that are out there really trying to set the narrative to push down any competition and really frame our political landscape. And it is scary stuff. We should be very concerned about this, and we should be calling them out and talking about it. And as Path of Most Resistance points out here on September 20th, Lorena Garcia doubles down on being Antifa, saying X is once again going crazy over a post of mine. This time it is my declaration that I am anti-fascism. The MAGA right is either really dumb or fully pro-fascism. I believe it is the latter. Looking forward to this one going viral on X as well by the pro-fascists. And it's like, are you kidding me? I mean, are you that like far gone to not understand why people might have an issue with this group called Antifa? Maybe they've witnessed the destruction, the total violence in our communities, and people want it to end. People are sick of this far left extremism. They're sick of the violence, and we need to stop it. And we can't have legislators like this celebrating it and pushing Colorado into a bad place, folks. Well, I do want to show you the current Colorado Springs anti-fascist or Colorado Springs Antifa um, X account. So, when you see Lorena Garcia, when you see Javier Mabrey saying, I am Antifa, there's nothing wrong with Antifa, it's good to be anti fascist, just look at what they're saying, folks. I mean, this is a current active account with nearly 12,000 followers here in Colorado Springs. Support your local Antifa wrecking crew. They're taking stuff from hiking trails and smashing it up here. Um, but check this out here. You got to see this where they say when people talk about nonviolent protests, they mean nonviolent towards their enemies. Every permit comes with a threat of police violence. And they say here, violent versus nonviolent is a bad paradigm. You should be thinking about the following questions. What are my goals? Who are my allies? Who are my adversaries? What tactics can I use to accomplish my goals? What risks am I willing to take? How can I mitigate these risks? Here's Colorado Springs Anti-Fascist from April 6th, year 2025. Moshing Machine is a local punk zine available at What's Left Records and Leash Pit Records. Moshing Machine, the only good fascist is a dead one. So, I mean, like, this is what Lorena Garcia, Javier Marbury are defending, and they would agree with this. And that's the crazy part. And it's the same people who want to strip us of our Second Amendment rights, who want to infringe on our ability to own property, to rent it out, to live a life of peace and freedom. I mean, it's absolutely insane, people. But that's the reality of it. Need to get this story out there. So I really appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.